All right, and welcome. I am just stepping in here for a moment to talk about both Housewives franchises, putting the trailers up against each other, not in a, this or that, like, which one is better. Just I haven't had a chance to look at both trailers. Actually, I've seen them both, but I haven't got to do an episode kind of saying if I like it or where I think there's some missing moments or who I really love and new cast members, et cetera, et cetera. Um, I was kind of seeing around that a lot of people really were like, "Oh man, once it hits May, there's going to be Beverly Hills and Atlanta," and like, so people were really excited about this. So I said, you know what? Let's do a trailer versus Beverly Hills and Atlanta. So the first trailer we're going to look at is Beverly Hills. Of course, you probably already saw it. We're just going to like look at it together and talk about it. Truth be told, of all the franchises, well, Dallas was the one that I really didn't like, but Beverly Hills I don't love. So that doesn't mean I don't like it, but I don't love it. To me, early on, miracles do happen because Kyle was not interesting season 1, episode 1, and yet she's still here. So when I first watched season 1, Lisa Vanderpump didn't really speak to me, although now I enjoy her a little more through the Vanderpump Rules show. So when you have season 1 where I'm a big Camille fan, big Adrienne Malou fan, like I liked those two gals, and then the show sort of always stuck with Kyle and Lisa. I was like, this show's not for me. So I didn't really watch this franchise too much, but I did pick up the last like 4 seasons, and it's been really good. The stuff with Denise was really interesting. And of course, Erica Jane had a season last season. But let's look at this trailer. And then after that, we'll look at Atlanta and I'll kind of explain where I'm at with loving Atlanta as well, or if I ever watched it or didn't. But as far as all the franchises, I'm a big Jersey. I like Jersey, love New York, Potomac season 1, episode 1, when Giselle Bryant got the mirror and looked at herself and said, "Well, I'm beautiful." There's certain franchises that really speak to me. Miami, Beverly Hills, I have my little like, I enjoy it, but there's also reasons why I don't. But anyways, we'll talk about it as we look at the trailer. Let's see. This trailer seems to be making a lot of noise. Tell me what you think. Let's play it right now. Beverly Hills, the brand new season, season 12.
You are one of my best friends. Why are you doing this to me?
You talk out of both sides of your mouth.
Be very careful because she's not who she says she is.
It's my life to burn down.
Then destroy it.
I'm leaving. I am pissed off.
Is it really that bad?
Yes.
This season on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
I love the way Lisa Rinna is like soap opera, Melrose Place all day, every day. She is at least true to who she is,
Very cool. Oh, God. I'm already over it. Mexico, here we come.
Hello, lover.
Get the bag.
It's $5 million.
You take credit card, Visa. I'm having a lot of sex. I thought it was yoga clothes.
You look adorable.
Never, ever listen to casual.
Diana, you're giving
Why
me
doesn't Cherie? Why doesn't she get more? That's all we get. Is she like a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of? Yeah, I think we should get more. She's always been complex in the not complex her, but being Will Smith's ex. This is even before the slap heard around the world with Chris Rock and that whole situation with the Oscars. But I'm just kind of bummed that we didn't get much information other than you're dressed casual. I need more. But this other gal does look interesting. So let's see that. This is Diana. Let's see.
Bardot
Yes. Cheers to Diana Jane.
Oh, yes, Bridget Bardot.
Oh, that one I like. Thank you so much.
It's called New Riche.
She was saying things that can ruin people's lives.
What about the people? What about the facts? Please, I have little babies. Please, I'm a mother. Please, I beg of you. My kids need me. Please, please. It's okay.
I can't stand the car, I wasn't there.
I think you're a soulless person. You need a new villain? Here I am.
There was a lot more said that was very dark.
Watch your back with your new friend.
I want to eat a meal and be okay with it. I don't want to hate what I'm eating every day. I'm trying to figure out how to live without my mom. I'm in a lot of pain, you guys. I'm doing the best I
I think that I hope people will take the eating issue story for what it is. I hope Twitter's not too hard on Crystal, especially since we just saw it in Jersey, because it's a very serious and real issue. And I hate when people kind of make it like, well, she just did that for storyline. I mean, it is a thing. Like, it's such a tumultuous thing, and even if a little bit of it had to be arced for, you can't film a TV show like, it's not surveillance. You have to, set up the scenes or whatnot. And if Crystal went through this, I think I'm interested to see where it goes. As far as Rinna, she's been, pretty salty with a lot of situations over the years, but she's been herself. A lot of people say she's really nasty. I guess I don't watch enough of Beverly Hills to kind of see all of it, but I will say, thinking about her soap opera days, her Melrose Place days, and even the self-deprecating humor, even the fact that her daughters are now in the limelight to a degree, or they were, what that must be like losing her mother. And I think a lot of people, when they watch it, they'll be like, oh, she lost her mother, but that's just like, people go through that, but not on camera. You know what I mean? And I just, there's, for what it is, I actually have a little bit of compassion to see if Lisa Rinna has just a little bit of a different season, because it's a different movement, from this point forward for her.
Last couple of times I saw you, you were a little tipsy.
Oops. Oh my God, I'm lit.
Pick your antidepressants or you drink, but you can't do both.
You want to be on the side of the victims because you think that's cool. What I'm telling
Cool.
you, it's cool. I don't give a about anybody else.
She's ready
but
to
me.
go.
Is that to make Erica look bad, or is that out of genuine
Erica, I don't
concern?
have to make you look bad. You can do that on your own.
If we're gonna talk about Erica's behavior, are we gonna talk about everybody in this group?
Okay, I don't like that. Not saying I don't like Erica Jane, and obviously nothing has been conclusive as far as her wrongdoings. Obviously her ex, but I'm not even talking about that. What I don't like is kind of, and I love Meredith too on Salt Lake, but I don't like it when people do the whole, well, if I do this, I'm going to let every secret out the bag. It's like two things. If you're going to say that, you better come with some information. Like, don't just say it to like agitate everybody. And secondly, like, do you really want to film with the cast who's going to go below the belt that much? I don't know. Not my favorite scene by Erica right there, but I do think Erica took a lot last season. And, sometimes when you say, both could exist. When you say she took a lot of people are like, but she's trash. Okay, but she still took a lot. And I'm only getting to the conclusion as to maybe why she's striking out this hard this season. The drinking, which they're going to make a thing, which maybe it was. And, her saying kind of some foul comments or whatever, like, do you want to be cool? It does go to show that maybe there's parts of her mind that is getting away from her, because it's just so much under a microscope. It's a lot of accusations, money, judgment. I mean, that's still a lot. So again, you can still say, I don't want to say the word trash, but you could still have your discouragement for her, but then still say, like, I would almost venture to say she could have sat out the season, but of course a big paycheck is a big paycheck. And it was just too much. Staying out one season or being a friend of probably would have been good, but then maybe she loses the momentum, and then maybe Bravo doesn't bring her back in some capacity at some time. So you really do got to strike while the iron's what is it called? Strike while the iron's hot. But nonetheless, I think it's going to give a little bit of, like I said, I'm not giving excuses, but a reasoning as to why she is maybe the way she is and how combative she is. Because I think what happened is she was pretty tough last year, but she kind of felt like she couldn't really say anything. And so this year, heads will roll kind of a situation. Another thing I was going to say, why I don't love Beverly Hills particularly. Actually, it's not I don't like it, but let me run the rest of this and then we'll talk.
For a year and a half, I've been f***ing pummeled.
Okay, so that's why you want Kathy to be called out.
Yes, it is actually.
You said some things about this beautiful sister of yours. I'm sorry, Kathy. You're not going to get away with it. I feel like you hate me or something.
Kyle.
How could you say those things?
Kyle.
The door is locked. Should we unlock it?
No, don't unlock
Don't
it.
unlock it.
Okay. So that's funny. The ending was funny. my one thing I've never understood about Beverly Hills is probably the whole reason people do watch it. You see, I could watch an aspirational lifestyle, but I don't like. So why Kyle is not that interesting to me is because she's just not that interesting. So say if you were judging me, hypothetically, if you're judging me, you would say, "Oh, look at him and his dusty, setup and da 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 da," and well, okay, you're welcome to that judgment, but I don't have tons of money, to complement my personality. So you just got to get me, and you've got to decide if you like what I'm doing or not. Beverly Hills, I feel like they don't get that judgment, so they could have people as boring as Kyle, but it's like when that money and the good looking husband, all of that sort of overshadows like a good casted housewife. And honestly, for me, I'm totally cool with housewives that don't have that huge opulent lifestyle. You know, I'll always tell you, Giselle Bryant is interesting. She's a Virgo. She's going, stir it up, and she's going to have an opinion. Um, but she doesn't live the opulent lifestyle. And there's several types of housewives fans, so it totally works. For me, you can have that opulent lifestyle, but if you're boring, I'm not influenced. So I'll say as a contrast to that, Miami, I love Lisa Hochstein. I love Lisa. Have loved Lisa since her first season was season 2. So she did 2, 3, and then now 4. And she lives very big, very opulent. So to that, it's because I like her, and then I'm like, dope. She got good money. But when you cast Beverly Hills, that's always been my gripe. And then I grew up in Southern California too, so it's also like another visual. It's not like I'm looking from afar, like in Kansas City or Phoenix, Arizona, Alabama, South Carolina, where you're just like, what is Beverly Hills? Like, going to high school, Beverly Hills is an hour, 30-minute drive or whatever, 30-minute drive, 40-minute drive, something like that with traffic. We grew up near the Long Beach area. So you knew what a Beverly Hills was like. And I think you, at a young age, weren't really impressed by all that. You need to impress me if you can impress me. But you can't impress me by saying, here's my bag is this, or my money is that, and my house is that. That doesn't impress me, just me personally. But it's also good because I don't think I'm in the popular opinion with that. I think a lot of people are like, oh my God, Beverly Hills is so great because they're so opulent. I'm like, but some of them are boring. Okay. Some of them are boring. Oh my God, have you seen Beverly Hills? It's the best one. Oh my God, they live so lavish. I'm like, but some of them are boring. Some of them are boring. So I don't always like the talk of like money to me. That doesn't really work. But if we are going to talk about money, I should at least put my Patreon little logo on the top of the screen here. So if you want to support, that way you don't have to say, well, look at you, Ronnie, your setup is dusty. So what do you know about opulent lifestyle? Well, I've been grinding in my career space for nearly 20 years, and I've had peaks and valleys, and things just happen. And you want to put a little into it, you could support. Thank you. Okay. No, and it's not that bad. Beverly Hills is actually pretty good. But I do just have to like mention that in the sense of like, with New York, I think they live opulent lifestyles too, but they were good characters. I mean, Jill Zarin and her tagline off the first season, like, I run with a really fabulous circle. Like, you just knew what you were gonna get. Luann was so dynamic. Early Sonia and drunk Sonia, all good. So the characters at least had a story. I think a lot of Beverly Hills housewives sometimes don't have a story. And when I mean a lot of, I mean Kyle. My thoughts on Kathy. I just don't know why you would want to do this. Like, what? You're so in kin to fame anyway that what you like, you when you do a show, and whether those contracts are tight, when you do a show, they do have to create a show. So I don't know what she was kind of thinking and negotiating for, and having a great first season is one thing, but I just don't know. Like, I don't see myself being that rich. And that is it. I don't know what it is. Like, is it that they offered it to her and she was like, let me just go on this journey? Because obviously the first season was a little funny, but like hunky dory, all that stuff, that wasn't that was played up for the camera. Like that wasn't, excuse me, I'm just like loopy. She did that. She put that on. We know that. We know she put that on. So then next season, it's like, why do we want more? And I think it's our whole society of like, I need more, I need more, I need more. I'm asking, the only more that you should want is Kenya Moore. um, so I don't get it. I don't know that I'd ever be in a situation in my life, but then again, maybe because my struggle within my own career has been for such a long time that you don't look at these monumental points of income as like, well, I don't know what the difference is, but I see a little bit more contentment because I've not had for so long. So yeah, maybe when you have so much money, you just, what's next? Well, now I need fame. And then, like, she had a great first season. Why couldn't she just sit on that, take a season off? No, contracts had to be high. She had to get paid this amount of money. And then things don't go the way they go. Of course, they're going to edit it in a way. When those reality TV cameras go, they're not lying, but they are story editing. When I did Fuse TV, when I did KTLA's Weathercast Search, when I did Moondos, when I did TLC Networks, Extreme Cheapskates, all the shows that I've done, like, it still is a story. There's still an editor. There's still an objective. And so I wonder if Kathy's going to be taking to Twitter or complaining throughout the season. I wonder. I hope not, because to that, why do the show? Why do the show? Question, because again, I'm not really into the Kathy. Kathy probably the most interesting. Kyle or Kim, and I know people love Kim. Was that Kim's voice? Did we hear Kim's voice in the trailer? And also, what is it about Kim? And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really not. I'm really, really not. Write it down in the comments. What is it about Kim that is interesting? Like, I don't really understand. And another thing is, like, when I watch these shows, I don't know if I always, vulnerability is great. But like when I think of Kyle, I think it's just too much meek. She's very meek. Her energy is very meek. It's very feeble. And it makes you have to think, people are out here waking up every day, busting their butt to create a life for themselves. And they're inherently having to be stronger. And then you got this lady, Kyle, who's got so much in front of her. And she's so feeble. It just is odd to me. How you gonna have all the good money, nice, beautiful home, hot husband, and still so feeble and uninteresting and not swift and not sharp. She's just not really sharp. She's a little, I don't know. Kyle doesn't do it for me, but a lot of people like her. And essentially she is the queen of this show. Which, always made me wonder, and I'm sure I'm wrong, but when Camille said on the tweets, like, oh, it's because this was Kyle's show through production from the beginning or whatever, or there was like a leverage thing. Maybe it was. To that, I would say, I wish Kyle would spin off. I wish she would spin off. That way she could go have her own vehicle. It could be with her sisters. It could be with her own personal life or whatever. But I just think on this series, the time has ran out. And this is like more like, I've never enjoyed her, so I'm kind of being more critical, but I just don't understand what she brings to the show. On Ultimate Girls Trip, same thing. She was a little more interesting and entertaining, but still it's a whole lot of money we're given, not we're, but Bravo is giving. And I don't feel like the entertainment value is coming back, you see, but I'm to each their own. Let's I think that's all I have to say about Beverly Hills. Again, judge all you want. It's just, what do we think of Erica Jane's stuff? It's going to be a ride. It's going to be an interesting ride. I will be compassionate for what happened with Dorit. And I'm glad it wasn't in the trailer too much, because such a tumultuous situation, it's kind of nice that they moved it along. I'm sure she doesn't want to necessarily have to relive a lot of that pain and that trauma. So it was that part of it was done as best it could be. But yeah, we'll see. The new cast member does look really great. This Diana, this gal seems to have something. But I don't know. I just remember looking at it, the tweets would be like, oh my God, this trailer's so good. And I just am like, was it good? It didn't seem that great. So, but also Housewives might be having their day in the sun. It might be over, the jump the shark moment. People aren't as interested as they used to be. But also a show doesn't have to be, oh my God, amazing. Unless you're Miami, Larsa Pippen, then you'll be amazing. See, we all have our different points of view. I have been Larsa Pippen season 1, episode 1. Yes, she only did one season, but I had been loving her from the beginning. So her 4th season, well, which would have been her 2nd season on Miami, was, incomparable. Okay, let me switch this up for one moment. We will take this out, and I'm going to put in Atlanta, the trailer, because I want to see how they stack up. So again, this was not necessarily a this versus that, like comparing different cast members, different shows, different franchises. It was just that they're both going to air in May, and let's put both trailers up. Let's talk about them. If anything, I could give a couple opinions why I love Kenya Moore. Okay, so Atlanta, real quick before we started, what do I enjoy? Atlanta was Kenya Moore for me. Season 1, I would have liked She by Sheree to be in it a little bit more. It seemed like she was slated to be the star of the show, and then that other loudmouth came, and it really just knocked the show to another place. So it took I spot watched a lot, but it took to season 5. Once Kenya Moore came through, I was into it. I wasn't into the other girl, but Kenya Moore was always it for me. So with that being said, knowing that I'm a big Kenya Moore fan, let's see what Atlanta is working with, and let's see how that trailer sort of competes. This is season 14 of Atlanta.
Bravo has been keeping everything airtight. I don't know what's going to go down on RHOA.
Marlo is going to keep the girls
Marlo.
alive. She by Sheree finally launched. It's not spring summer though.
This season, keep your edges on point and stay tuned.
My edges are filling in.
Who thinks that they know some tea on me about sucking dick in the locker room? This is a kid work and party.
Kenya, don't invite your wife who's gonna get it. Start in a circle.
This is Poochie and Nobody controls my vagina.
Oh, I need it.
Can I tell you, I'm loving Mama Joyce even more now that I'm watching Candy and the Gang show, where they're at Old Lady Gang, the restaurant, and it's basically like a Vanderpump Rules. For me, you're always going to hear me say, yes, Candy, more for Candy, because she's managed to do this show so successfully for all these years and hasn't had to she's been able to be vulnerable, cries a ton, but like to continuously sustain business for herself and her friends and her family. It's great to see. Now, on the reverse side of it all, I have been one of those people who've always said, yes, we're ready for Marlo. And what a beautiful time for Marlo to do the show while the other gal who left Bravo is not doing the show. This is the greatest thing, because for so many years she had to kind of be in the shadow of the other gal, and now Marlo is front and center. I know people really are going to like what she's going to bring to the table. She it almost seemed like it was never going to happen. Like, maybe it was a negotiation thing, a contract thing, maybe it was a mugshot thing, but like Marlo's history or whatever, which we all go through stuff, and I'm just like so excited to see just this vibe of her. And I forgot that she was doing some styling too. She's also taking care of the kids, her nephews. So there's a lot to look out for Marlo, and I like it. Let's see what it is.
Marlo fabulous in Hampton.
Now the nephews do.
They miss their mom.
What is she facing if she goes to trial? Oh no. Am I raising them right?
She by Sheree's coming, honey.
Ooh.
Tyrone?
A really large penitentiary.
You just happen to run into it.
When the guys
Oh,
come
no.
home, they just all over the woman.
He haven't shown up yet. What does it mean when you call someone, it ring and then it go busy?
Can I tell you, I like She by Sheree because, and I say this with so much love because I really like her. She's like always on the struggle bus. Well, she's got one foot on the struggle bus and one foot in like fabulosity. And I think that's like She by Sheree. Like she's completely like always messing up, but she's also so amazing at the same time. And to me, it's good. This looks like a little bit of a mess, but we've seen her get through other stuff with her home and with the joggers and the summer spring collection. So we'll see what this is. This is definitely going to be probably more on the real side of reality TV. Now, do we need to see Apollo? I don't think so, but it is what it is.
Just love yourself, Sheree.
I am the moment, bitch.
Oh.
I am the moment. I almost love you, bitch.
My single babe.
Tanya, she's new to Atlanta. She's a 4-time gold Olympic medalist.
I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a real deal of Jamaican.
She called me a friend, me not calling her no friend. I'm a 4-time Olympic gold medalist.
Put it on it. Put it on it.
You ain't no Jersey.
I like her.
He didn't have the money to pay that condo off.
Her, your mama, and your family. Y'all so disrespectful.
If you ever were to find something
Oh,
in the home
no.
where a guy was like, yo, I could come give you a massage, you would have a problem with that.
She saw something, didn't understand the context.
It's as if you could just feel the ratings dip as soon as Drew starts talking, right? Oh, wow. She got a second season.
You just said basically she's lying. That would piss me the off. My husband was there when you said that you wanted to have sex. Go have your husband buzzing my pussy all night.
Oop.
Anthony was never my assistant because you never paid him. Are you going to shut the up for a second so I can talk? Candy doesn't know how to be a friend.
Candy was a damn hoe. She everybody for free.
I give what you give to me. Now you following me?
You're full of shit. Can you?
Pitiful little hoe. You came here to be Sheree's lap dog, bitch.
I don't have a lap dog, let's be clear. Here, there. There you go. There you go, bitch.
What do I think? What is that girl doing? Why is she barking? The ratings dip of it all during any time that Drew talks. Why is Drew not working on this show? And why did she get brought back? Does anyone know? There must be something going on with like one of the gals from Orlando is going to pop up. I feel bad for Drew. I really do. Especially like she was more so an actress. You know, we knew the name Drew Sidora for years and years and years. And so it's kind of the same thing you would say, well, Lisa Rinna, she was also an actress and she came to Housewives and got messy. Kenya Moore, she was a, entertainer, actress, all of the things, pageant winner. But it's like, I feel like for like a Lisa Rinna or a Kenya Moore, Cynthia Bailey, even a model came over, at least they got something out of it. Drew is like, she's doing this show as if she was plucked from obscurity and really doesn't have a say-so or doesn't have like a goal or whatever. I guess I would venture to say, because let's try to be nice here. I would venture to say to Drew fans, Drew Sidora, what is it that you like? And I would say what I feel like is missing is maybe there's just not a pleasant energy about her. Maybe I love how like Kenya will be mad and get into it with people like, with Marlo. But like she also has in that trailer, and it's also the editing too. I am the moment, and she is the moment. Kenya Moore, the moment. Team Twirl, Gone with the Wind, fabulous, all day, every day. Woo! But Drew might be battery packed by the producers to bring drama, and I think she's kind of like trying to figure it out, and she's maybe overstepping and misstepping, but it's just not working. Okay, so the new girl, I seem to really like her. I also heard in a interview, gosh, I'm trying to remember what interview it was. I think it was with Behind the Velvet Rope, with Ebony K. Williams saying she actually knows the new cast member of Atlanta and that she is going to bring a lot to the table. Now, some would be like, whoa, I didn't necessarily like Ebony. Well, I did. So I'm going to go off of that because I'm going to go off of you move in a way that Ebony K. Williams did, a certain stature, And so the new girl also being an Olympic gold medalist, like I think that's cool too. So it's nicely rounded out. Can I tell you who I think that cast needs? And I've been saying this for a long time. That cast needs DJ Tracy Steele. She the DJ, Chris Brown's DJ was a guy named, I think, Baby Drew. Well, that's the ex. She was on one season of Love and Hip Hop, and she was on a VH1 series also with Usher Raymond's ex-wife. And she's got it going on, and she would be the perfect person to weave into Atlanta. If Drew didn't come back, and I don't want to like stop, hopefully Drew comes back because, you want everyone to win. I want to win, hence the Patreon. Show me some love, patreon.com/randomlyRJ Jr. But I'm saying DJ Tracy Steele is somebody Atlanta should look at. As far as Beverly Hills, I'm trying to see who in Beverly Hills should they add to the show, because it really is starting to be the same cast. So I think there should be some changes down the road. But with Housewives, I guess you never know. I mean, New York as it is got 2 shows, and it's always a new bell and whistle to go through. So I don't claim to know everything about everything, but I did want to come on here and look at both trailers and just kind of see what I thought. I wanted to try not to be so mean. I just do think Kyle's a little uninteresting, and I know that you agree with that. So I know that we're both complexed, but it is what it is, and it's still a fun show. It is entertainment. Can't take it too seriously. Can't take it with take it with a grain of salt. It's like all these reality shows. They are arced in a certain way, so just have fun and enjoy them. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Again, May wasn't as exciting for me as it was for everyone else, where they're like, oh my God, Beverly Hills and Atlanta. I'm like, okay, I'll watch Atlanta and I'll watch a lot of Beverly Hills, but I don't get excited about Beverly Hills. But with these shows, sometimes it's based on the season. I haven't watched OC in a very long time, but this whole Heather Noella thing and Gina is still interesting to me, small house or not. Emily, I really like. I even think Emily, I want more Emily for sure. I know Kelly Dodd is over there on the YouTube, but she's even been interesting on the YouTube, even though she's had some stuff in the past. I feel like, that one sit out season might be perfect to bring her back. I don't know. I just want to have some fun here on the episode. Make sure you go to #randomly with Ronnie Jr. That way you could see the plethora of content that we have on all 3 channels. And I guess that wraps it up. I'm going to give my highlight superstar for both franchises. And of course, I'll come back and do a trailer review for, Potomac when it comes out, and maybe like a end of season recap for Jersey. I try to do as much as I can, but obviously these shows just keep coming and coming and coming and coming and coming and coming. And you also want to have a personal life, hard work. Yes, but you do need to be living too in order to make a good calculated response. So my MVP, I guess, my superstar of each, I think this season's going to be for Beverly Hills. I think I'm going to be interested to see 2 of them, Lisa and Garcelle. I know Erica Jane is going to give us a lot, but the ones that I'm going to be most excited to tune into will be Lisa Rinna, and Garcelle. I'm also very disappointed that Garcelle's TV show got canceled. The Real. It wasn't a show that I loved at the very beginning, but it got better. It got a lot better. And I also like Adrienne Hodson, the other host. I really like her. Which, by the way, Adrienne, I believe, is moving back to New York, or has already moved back to New York, regardless of The Real. But now that it's announced that The Real is going away, Adrienne is married. She's done reality TV. She's done reality TV with Julissa Bermudez, which was a TV host. They had a show called Empire Girls on Style Network, like over 10 years ago. It almost seems like Adrienne and she's a little older. They just bought the home back on the East Coast, where she's a Lower East Side girl. I think Adrienne should come into the new franchise of Real Housewives of New York. She's young enough, but she's always hung out with, people that were a little bit older than her. Like, she's really good friends with Angie Martinez, which is the voice of New York as far as radio. I should do a whole episode of what I think with New York cast members. I think I've been saying for a while, Olivia Palermo from the city, and also a fashionista to this day. She should join Housewives of New York. I think CC Sabathia's wife, Amber Sabathia, would be fantastic. He was a Yankee, very, very loved, that whole, like, when you're a Yankee and you have that, like, that, the love of the city. And Amber has done a lot of, just charitable work. She ran the marathon with Angie Martinez, by the way. So they're always kind of giving back. Amber Sabathia is kind of in that age where it makes sense. She's like 40 years old, so she would be able to mix well with Ebony and Leah. So I would like to see gals like Olivia Palermo, Amber Sabathia, Adrienne Bailon. I am not going for Julia Fox. Like, that doesn't work for me, because that's just a flash in the pan. So why give somebody a whole season when the name is, yes, it's been buzzing all over everyone's minds because of the Uncut Gems silly way of saying it. And I guess that was funny. I didn't find it funny. It's like, it's not funny. It's not humor. It's something stupid on TikTok. So to give somebody a whole show on that doesn't seem like the right move. But if Bravo does it because they want, like, the views, I guess maybe. But it's all interesting. I'm just giving my points of views. I could be completely wrong. But I just had fun with this. And my MVP of Atlanta has got to be Candy, number one, and Kenya Moore, number two. And usually Kenya Moore is always number one, but I've got to set back for a moment and say Candy because of the entrepreneurship, the determination, the way she's given it up on this Candy and the Gang show and what it's doing. There's some great representation on the show. Candy is still just as funny and dynamic as she's always been. Some people always try to judge and say she's a little boring, but she's not. She's just focused, man. She's very focused, and I like to see it. So Candy right now is sort of my leading Real Housewives gal across all franchises. I love a Giselle Bryant. I love a Mellisa Gorga. I love a Larsa Pippen. I love Noella, even, Emily. They're all great, but we just wanted to kind of talk for a little bit. So that wraps up the episode. I appreciate it. Go to the Patreon, show it some love, and go to hashtag randomly with Ronnie Jr. so you could see all of the episodes. I think it's time to go. Yep, time to go.